hip distance apart. So that's right under your hip bones here, okay? Hands are just resting lightly on the bar with your elbows slightly bent, and you're gonna raise up onto your toes and lower back down. So a couple things I want you to know. I love bar because it helps us do work in standing. So typical Pilates doesn't always give us a lot of standing work. As a physical therapist, I love to give people work in standing as it's really functional and helps us strengthen our legs in a position we use all day. So that's one reason I love bar. Another thing to keep in mind, you don't need to be a dancer. I was never a dancer, ever, okay? So bar just means kind of some workouts and some moves that we do using the bar or anything to help you with balance. You do not need any kind of history as a dancer. I promise. Okay, last one. Nice job. Bring those back down. Now just keep your feet where they are, and you're gonna bend your knees and come back up. Now what you'll see is this isn't a typical squat. I'm keeping my back completely straight up and down. So it's not a very big bend with the knees. What I'm gonna do with this beginner workout is take you through some typical positions that we use in a bar workout, help you become familiar with them, help you work into your balance and your leg strength a little bit, okay? Last two. And one. Now, we're gonna combine those two. I want you to raise up onto your toes, lower your heels, bend your knees, straighten your legs. So raise up, heels down, bend, straighten. And the whole time, you're just thinking of kind of this idea of creating space in your torso. So I'm thinking of a little pelvic floor lift, right? I'm thinking of keeping my ribs pulled in. I'm keeping that nice tall posture so nothing is collapsing downwards. Last one. Nice job. Okay, now we are gonna do that same sequence, but in a turnout position. So I want you to turn your toes out and your heels are touching. And we're gonna raise up onto your toes and back down. So in Pilates, we actually call this a Pilates V. If you were a dancer at all, you would think of this like a plie position. So we just have that little bit of turnout in the feet, and you're raising up and lowering back down. So we're getting some great range of motion in our ankles, strength in our calves, and again, some balance work coming too. Okay, last one. Now, keep that turnout. Keep your heels glued together. Bend your knees and come back up, okay? So again, this is giving you kind of some experience to and into some of those beginner positions or basic positions in bar. So you would see this turn out a lot, and in more advanced classes, we add more choreography and pulses and all these various things, single leg. But by understanding kind of these foundational positions, you can get a great workout. You can always stay at this beginner level, or you can work eventually to that more advanced and intermediate level if you choose to. Okay, we're gonna combine these. So I'm gonna raise up onto my toes, lower my heels, bend my knees, and straighten. Lift, lower, bend, straighten. And a lot of times if you search other bar workouts I have, I really like to do combination bar movements and then some Pilates down on the mat. We use bands, we use balls, so we can get really creative and fun with it. Okay, one more. Nice job. Okay, I'm gonna keep my hands on the bar. I'm gonna keep my right foot underneath my hip, and my left foot's gonna come back, toes pointed. Then you're gonna lean forward a little bit. So you have options. You can bend your elbows, or you can bring your elbows onto the bar like this, okay? And I'm gonna lift my left leg and lower. So hands are completely fine here with the elbows bent, or again, elbows on the bar. But I'm trying to keep my back in that nice flat position. And the sneaky thing you'll start to feel is that right leg working as much, if not more, than the left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now keep it here, pulse it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Bring it back down. Place it right into the left hip. We're going to go straight to the other side. So exhale to lift. And you want that nice controlled movement. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep it up and little pulse, pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in. Nice job. I want you to grab those hand weights for me. So I'm just going to grab mine on the front here. You can just pick yours up. And we only need one for now, okay? So you can place one to the side. And what I want you to do is turn to the side. I'm going to show you how we incorporate some arm work into bar. So we're going to go back to that turnout position. And I have my right hand on my bar, and the weight is in my left hand. So I'm going to go back to that little knee bend. Okay, see that? So I'm slightly turned out. I'm bending my knees. And now I'm going to go down. And when I come up, my arm lifts in front of me. So inhale and exhale. Elbow is slightly bent. Nice job. And we'll go for 4 more. So getting some nice bicep strengthening, right? Anytime we use weights, it's going to be beneficial for our bone health, bone strength, our muscles. Nice job. Bring it back down. Now, stay turned out and step your feet wide. I'm going to show you one other position that we use. So my feet are going to be fairly wide here. And then my arm is going to come up, palm facing forward. I'm going to come down, lift, and my arm lifts. So that's an inhale, exhale. Nice job. Squeeze those legs at the top. Keep it controlled. Last 2. 1. Nice job. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to go back to that turnout position. You're just going to have to pretend I have a bar on the left side here. I want you to still be able to see me. And my arm is forward, palm is up. So I come down and then lift, okay? And you are welcome to do this without a bar, like I am as well. So some of these positions, you can always challenge yourself and your balance just a little bit. You gotta keep thinking again of trying to create that really tall space when you come up, right? So I'm trying to keep my ribs lifted and in. I'm trying not to collapse anywhere. 1 more. Good job. Take a little break. Step your feet wide. Bring your arm out to the side. Inhale and exhale. So this gives you a really good idea of just various positions that we can use in a bar workout. And you can see how it really does help to give you endurance and strength in the legs. And then we can add the arms as well. One other thing to keep in mind. I don't want you squeezing your buns or squeezing your glutes at any point, okay? So no tucking of the tail, no tucking of the pelvis, no squeezing the glutes. Promise me that. Last 2. And 1. Nice job. Bring that back down. You can set it to the side and turn and face your bar again. Right foot's gonna come forward. Left foot back. Let's give a good stretch to that calf on the left. Posture is nice and tall. My right knee is bent. My left heel is down. I'm gonna inhale and exhale. Then straighten the right leg and lean forward slightly. And let's switch legs here. So my left foot's gonna come forward, right foot back, right heel down. Tall posture. And then straighten the left leg and hinge forward just to a point that's comfortable. It doesn't have to be very far at all. Nice job. Come back up. Bring yourself forward. Inhale, both arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, arms down. Okay, we're going to stay facing our bar. You're going to have your right foot underneath your right hip, and the left foot is going to come back. Same position we were in just a little while ago. And you're leaning forward slightly, but this time I want your elbows pretty straight, okay? So you might have to scoot back a little bit. And then what you're going to do is lift that left leg. Bend and straighten. Bend, straighten, okay? So we're back to that same position. Just working through a little different choreography here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, nice job. Keep it straight. I want you to bend it in, and as you do, bend your right leg. Kick it back and straighten the right leg. So I'm bending both, kicking and straightening. 3, we'll just go for 6 of these. 2, 1. Nice job. Bring it back down. Let's do the other side. So my right foot is back. I'm going to lift it slightly, and I'm going to bend, straighten. So I really think of bar as a chance to work on that balance a lot, to work on pelvic kind of positioning and control, all the different leg muscles. Last one. Nice job. Now I'm going to bend it in. It's like I'm trying to make myself into a little ball, and then I kick it out and reach. Last 2, 1. Nice job. Bring it back in. All right, we're going to bring our legs together. And you're going to raise up onto your toes. Now, we're going to keep our heels lifted. Because one other thing we haven't done is done some squats in this high heel position. Again, it's very common in bar. So we're in a high heel. Everything's squeezing together. Bend and straighten. So I will say one thing about bar is if you have issues being in a high heel like this, bunions, various foot issues, bar isn't always the most comfortable, but you have options. You can try wearing shoes, okay? Absolutely try shoes, or padded toe socks or something like that. Or you can always just choose to skip the high heel part, because there's lots of other parts you can do. 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay here. Come up halfway, lower. Halfway, lower. I know it's so mean and awful. And 3. We call this the bar shakes. If you start to shake. Last 1. Nice job. Reach it up. Lower your heels down and walk it out. Very nice. Grab one of your weights again. All right. So we're going to turn to the side one more time. And what I want you to do is bring the right foot forward and the left foot back. Okay? And it's not very far here. My left heel is lifted. My arms down at my sides. So what I'm going to do is bend and then bicep curl. So right here, and I'll show you, which you can absolutely do this, and maybe I'll do this actually. You can do this facing the bar, as long as you have room and you don't hit your hand on the bar. And that's what I thought I was going to do, but it looks like I have plenty of space here. So your choice where you want to face, but it's like kind of a mini lunge, but make sure that back heel is really up, and you can do a teeny little knee bend. It doesn't have to be very big at all. Last 2. Nice job. We'll simply switch sides. So the right foot goes back. It's not as big as a normal lunge. lunge, okay? Little bend and lift, and once you're used to that, you're gonna add the arm. So bend, and then I bend my elbow when I come up for a bicep curl. Nice, keep that breath going. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Step it in here. Switch the weight to the left hand. Almost done. So I'm still facing my bar. I have my right foot forward with the knee bent. The left foot is back, and it's back a little farther than it was. Lean forward again. This is called a tricep press. I just want you to see how we can get some great arm work here with the bar. So I'm squeezing my shoulder blade back, and I squeeze that arm straight. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Let's switch sides. So when you're ready, think about your positioning. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Okay, we're going to put that weight down. You're going to face your bar again. Bring your legs to hip distance apart. Bring your right arm up, and then lean to the left to give yourself a stretch. Bring the right hand back down, left arm up, reach it over. And back up. Both hands on the bar. Step back and just let yourself kind of hinge forward. Find a little bit of a stretch here. You can alternate bending your knees. And then round your back. Nice job. Step yourself forward again and complete that roll up one vertebrae at a time. And drop your shoulders down. One more deep breath in. And exhale. And great job. You did it. I hope you're proud of yourself. I am proud of you. Remember, beginner workouts, I never say are easy workouts. Sometimes beginner are the hardest ones. But it gives you a chance to find control, to find some strength that maybe you didn't know you had. And you can always stay at beginner level forever. That is completely fine. But if you get to a point that you feel like you want to start to progress, don't be afraid to try those intermediate bar workouts and see how they feel. You do whatever is right for you. And I will see you next time.
Looked up a good sweat on that one.